Hello viewers, welcome to the channel as I look to take you through this development happening around Note 20 Ultra, that the fact that it might not be continuing as a line going forward. So the plan is to take you through what phone it is if you yet to get your hands on it, and also to sort of talk through why Samsung will decide on such a successful phone line to be discontinued, or more in particular to be enhanced into the foldable section. This phone is a powerful phone, packing with it Exynos 990 chipset, which probably is not the ideal, but if you're in US and elsewhere, North America, South Korea, you're talking about the Snapdragon 865 Plus, which is quite ultra high level of chip that you can get for your phone. So why would Samsung decide to disable such a very successful Note line? The Note always come with the S Pen, and this incredible S Pen has a whole lot of functions which include Smart Select, Screen Write, where you can write on the screen no matter what it is, live message, translate, glance. You can magnify things if it's small, and a host of other things. You can write on calendar and a whole lot of things. It has air gestures where you can sort of use the S Pen to take photos, selfies. You can distance yourself away from the phone, and your S Pen will serve as a remote, more or less, for you to take pictures of yourself. So a whole lot of unique functions. I have here the Mystic Bronze version, and it has a matte finish, so you hardly could see any fingerprints on the back of it, and it's so beautiful. And a huge camera bump housing the 108 megapixels main camera and 12 megapixels each for the remaining other cameras. It's really an awesome piece of phone, a phone that does zoom to the extent of 50 times. And so, if something is really far, it can bring it right into focus. So I've had use cases where people are trying to park and trying to look at signs from across the street, and they can use the zoom function to bring it back across. I've seen use cases of people trying to see things clearly on the beach as well. So it has many useful features. Now, for such a phone, with all its functionalities and with all its use, if you're getting this phone, you really are a power user and you're looking for the extra that a phone provides. So this phone packs 4,500 mAh battery, and so that's quite very strong battery to last you for a longer period of time. It has reverse wireless charging and wireless charging as well, so you can share power or tap into power from other phones and other gadgets like this. You can put your buds on the back of it, or your watch, or any other wearable, and you can get it being charged. And so quite a very high level decent phone. And so then the question continued to be, why would Samsung disable such a very successful phone line? And this phone line has been around for a very long time, starting from Note 1, God knows, when that was. And so for about the past 10 years, it has been one line after another line, and it continues to, sort of push the limits of what you can get in a phone. So Galaxy S20 was launched, and even the Note was a step higher. The Note 20 Ultra was a step higher from the S20 lineup. And in every year that S series has been launched, the Note offers over and above what you can get from the S phones. And so it's still a decision that everyone is wondering why Samsung would disable this line. And the only reasonable understanding we can get from this move is the fact that they are planning to sort of introduce the S Pen on the Fold 3 And so the Galaxyfold is going to be the future. That is their estimation where they think things are driving towards. And so for such a successful line, why wouldn't they continue to make it better and getting the Galaxy Note to now fold? And so, which means it moves up the line to the Fold series. But the problem with the Fold series is the fact that it's very expensive. And as you can see from Fold 2, going for about $2,000 or almost £1,800 is quite expensive. And so not everyone can be able to buy, but it looks like next year they are looking to launch it at a reasonable price. Who knows, maybe 1,300, 1,400, where people can stretch and get it. And so they are thinking if this current note was around 1,200 or so, then people adding £100 more, or a little more to the fold will make a lot of sense for them. And for them, it will drive higher revenue and from users who are power hungry. Hence, coming for this phone will get a lot more for their money. And so it's a win-win for everyone. But what they forget in that equation is the fact that not everyone will be able to afford it at that price. And so a huge customer base of this Note series will drop by. But you could hope and expect that with such a strategy, there will still be quite a sizable number of Note users who would want to get their S Pen in whatever new extra powerful phone that they could find it in. And so with that strategy that Samsung is bringing, then they will still be able to get what they want in that new phone. So we live to see how this plays out. But personally, I have used the Note for a number of years now, and this Note in particular is top of the line of all the Notes, and it offers very exciting usage in terms of the speed it delivers. 120 hertz refresh rate, so everything is snappy and quick, and it takes amazing photos and videos. And so with all that on offer, you wonder that will I be willing to move straight into getting a fold? I'm not sure it will be, and especially coming after a very hard year for the economies across the world, and so it might take a bit of time before whatever Samsung is planning to take off. But as a user, for me, I would continue to use this Note 20 Ultra for as long as it would take me, because it's a very strong phone. I mean, when we started using it, it had issues being the Exynos version. There were issues with, heating at the first day when you're transferring data across, it got heated. There were stutters and all that. But that aside, after that heavy, download and upload of data on the first time, everything came back to normal, and it has been very good. The speed is incredible. And again, 5G, I can get 5G on it. So if I'm tapping into 5G, which is even in its initial stages of development, then I don't think there is any demand or desire for me to quickly change it. And so I'll use it for as long as it can support the things I do. And it's like my phone, my tablet, my PC, my iPad, everything in one, because of this S Pen giving you that precision of getting things exactly the way you want them. And so if I edit a video or I'm doing gaming and I want precision, I get my S Pen out and I can get an awesome precision with this tool. Also, a lot of the times I'll be taking notes and probably listening to sermon or reading a Bible. So you can multitask and save all these multitasks, onto quick settings. And so anytime you bring it out, then you get it going. Yeah, so that's awesome. And so when you open, so now I have the Bible app, I have my notes app opened. And if I want this association to continue to be saved for me, you only need to tap the plus here, and then it saves that association. Anytime you come, you can get the two, being there for you to use anytime you want to use. So you can see, and there are times I listen to, I'll be listening to someone on Facebook and taking notes as well. So I have that association as well. And so this is awesome. And this makes it extraordinarily a great piece of device that you can get on, just any other phone, and you can swap. So pop-up view will pop the item that you're looking at in a view where you can have the screen hovering around like that, and you can do whatever you want to do on the main phone, and so it doesn't interfere with how you want to enjoy your experience. And multitasking will be to another level in such an instance, because here you are, if it was YouTube you were listening to, or if it was music you were playing, whatever you were doing, you could still do that with a screen opened on top of it. And the interesting thing is, if it's getting in your way, you can always determine the extent to which it's visible. And again, this requires a high level of precision. And with an S Pen, you can easily fade it out so you can see the background, so that whatever you're doing that you're trying to, have a screen popping up on top, you could still continue doing it without any block to your view. So it's just an awesome piece. I don't know how Samsung could do this awesome, bring this awesome device, and they know better than we do, and so we just take their word for it. But yeah, so like I was saying, if I were looking at something like looking at YouTube, I can still have another app open, and I can still do stuff on this other app. And quite if it is quite fade, you can always increase the visibility. Like, you can always make it look a bit more visible, and you can enjoy the experience. So that's awesome. I mean, you don't get these from a host of other phones, and so for this phone to be giving us this and for us to be loving it, it's just a shame that all of a sudden it's being taken away from us. But hey, what can we do? We can only live by what Samsung decides and go with what they do. Yeah. So another thing with this phone, by way of spec, is the fact that it has the storage to be 256 gig, the whole storage on the phone, and you have the RAM being 12 gig, so very powerful speeds. I mean, just by way of context, Apple phones are at a minute, going most of the times with a RAM of about 6 gig, and so you can imagine the difference is like twice. But again, Apple will tell you their phone is more optimized, and so that translates to almost equal speeds. But that should tell you Samsung's try to push the limits of what a phone can do. So, and again, by comparison to PCs, some laptops on average have about 6 gigabytes of RAM, and so if you're having 12 gig on your phone, it's extremely powerful tool that you can use. And you can actually have the micro SD card also pushing your storage limit to even 1 terabyte. So that's really a big space that you might not probably even need any other thing else other than that. Yeah, it's a very interesting phone, giving you the best screen ever that Samsung has ever put on a phone. And so it has the AMOLED display, and this AMOLED display, like Samsung making displays for Apple and a host of other manufacturers, tried to bring their best and brightest onto this one. And so they are giving you this whole AMOLED display, dynamic AMOLED display, and watching anything on this phone is just a treat. If you get the full screen and you watching anything, it's just a treat. And you can see everything is very clear here. Your darks are dark, the brights are bright, and you can really enjoy an awesome view of whatever you're trying to view. And in a lot of cases, people use it as TVs or use it to watch all sort of programs without having to need anything more. So it's really powerful. And so, yeah, we look to see how the future will hold on this front. But if you're new to the channel and you want to continue to see how these things are developing in terms of the plans that Samsung is unfolding on the Galaxyfold side of things and also on the Note side of things, kindly hit subscribe button, and a like will also be appreciated. And that way you continue to hear the information as soon as they are made available, and that way you stay tuned to all that is going on. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.